All right, everybody. This one I'm gonna put on my Moses playlist. Right. This one I'm gonna put on my Moses playlist. Anything on my Moses playlist is secret. Or any of the other ones, really. Actually, that's yeah. No, if I'm doing an ancient book, secret. If I'm doing a modern one, no, because a lot of them are stupid. But that was the first sin after the last high priest. Um, the first sin after the last high priest is the loss of love. That you love God so much that you hate your fellow man. Because that's how it happens within the history of the Torah. The high priest Moses comes along, and then there's a degradation. There's still beautiful people out there, but with the loss of wisdom, people suffer. But that's what happens because the high priests, they disappear. They disappear. And it happens not only in not only in the world of the West, but in the East, everywhere in the world it happens. There's high priest comes along, and they change things. Like I was learning about this one Chinese guy one time, and he was an advisor, and he was trying to advise and do his thing, but like everybody was being a bunch of bitches, and he just walked away and went into the mountains. And a later emperor came out, and they were like, "Please come and advise me, please, please, please." And so he came out, and he did. But then everybody started being a bunch of bitches again, and so he went back out into the mountain. But this sort of behavior builds a trust, because it's like, this guy's not trying to get one over on me. Just wants to be my friend. This Chinese man just wants to be my friend. And that has inspired many Chinamen, I think. Good Chinamen to go out there and be awesome like this guy. And not be a little bitch. But now they happen, but it's particularly in the Jewish tradition. In the Jewish tradition, like, that's a ninja scroll. Like, the Torah is a ninja scroll. Like, that's what Moses did. He disappeared. Like, he took over Egypt. His words were in the Pharaoh's mouth, because the Pharaoh was just like a modern day politician who was a puppet of the wise men, who were the ones who were actually in charge. Anyways, go check out my Moses stuff, because it's a cool story. It's a really cool story once I saw it. Go check it out. It's Story of Moses. But he hides, and he hides within the text, right? These are a bunch of ninjas. It's like they take over, and then they take. There's been a lot of Jews. Like every Jew in the canon took over a part of this world and controlled it. But they controlled it with love and not violence and hatred and fear and manipulation. No, it's like, that's the job of the rabbi, to go into the darkness and find the lights. Find the beautiful Jewish lights that want to shine, if not for the toxicity. Because that was the first sin after the last high priest. To love God more than you love your fellow man. And it kept going downhill. Click, 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 click. And here we are today. Because, like, that's interesting to me. That's interesting to me. It's like, maybe that's why Enoch's not in the canon, because he didn't have any power. Like that Chinese guy. It's like, sometimes it's like, damn, let's watch it all burn and laugh, you know, like Jonah. Like, like Jonah. And, you know, I think that, you know, it's not like Moses came in and he wanted to fucking save the Jews and make them so awesome. But then he realized it's all about the heart. You know who it is? It's all about the heart. He did the Egyptians a good thing, and Ramses was a celebrated pharaoh, right? Because Moses was the one in charge of Egypt, and he did them good. He went after the toxic people and killed the darkest of the dark, and tried, like, when he conquered Canaan, he didn't kill all the Canaanites. Why would he? No, he sought the good Canaanites out. Went after the bad ones. But you know, and God honors that story. He honors it. You know, but it's not an imperative. It's not a fucking imperative. Like, you be you. That's the imperative. You be free. You be you. You don't have to go save no one. And God will still love you. So it's like, who is this Enoch? Like, is he, you know, like me? Who just doesn't give a shit? Not trying to save anybody. Like, if people are awesome, I'll cheer, you know? But if people are not awesome, then I'll laugh and try to avoid the flames, you know? God wants you to be you. He wants you to be unique. You don't have to be like a second Moses. Like, I've called Samuel a second Moses before, but I don't mean that in an insulting way, because that's pretty insulting. I just mean it in a chronological way, you know. And using Moses as a generic term for high priest. You know, I'm the Lord of Should. I wrote this thing one time. I just fucking enjoyed the hell out of it. And after I wrote it, I remember I fucking nuked something up in the microwave and just sat down and ate it, and I was just like fucking in paradise. You know, I think after I ate, I put my, you know, Al Bundy puts his hand right there in his waistband. I think I did that, and I just sat back, and I was like, just the biggest loser in the world. But I felt good, you know. The Lord of Should, you know. It's like, damn, sometimes we can just be so casually disrespectful to each other. And sometimes we don't mean it. It's just the idiotic ways of our language, you know? Or the symptoms of bad religious leaders, right? But yeah, you know, I think unfortunately it's gonna be all right, you know, because and I say unfortunately because when it's not all right, it can be pretty damn funny. As long as you avoid the flames, right? But no, I'm kidding. Whatever. But um, yeah. God wants intimacy with you, and He cares who you are. He wants to see your life. He's a pervert. He is. He's a total fucking pervert, and he wants to explode when you do.